Hi, my name is Christina.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Kaylee.
And today we're going to be talking about race, racism, and stereotyping. We also interviewed some students on their take of it.
Okay, so for you, what is your definition of race?
Race?
Yes.
Alright, so race, I would probably classify that as the color of someone's skin, and that kind of can be, I guess, blurry because sometimes people will be from the same region or the same place, but their skin will look a lot different. But for me, I think that's how I would define it, because there's the different categories like white, black, Asian, Hispanic, other, mixed, the kind of stuff you see on like standardized tests.
So, what is your definition of race?
Something that I think is like labeled common throughout our society, that's like defined by skin tone, I guess in different ethnicity.
So how do you think race affects you?
Well, speaking that I am a black man in America, it's harder for me to do things that, white people will be able to do. It's not like that, even though I understand that a lot of people, everyone has their own struggles, but at the end of the day, a lot of major corporations, they do see a lot of color and they would choose that over, even if I had more experience, they would choose that just because there's something they're more comfortable with. A lot of people don't like stepping out of their comfort zones, and that's what messes us up in a lot of areas.
Do you think race affects you, and if so, how?
Yes, most definitely. As an Arab American, I am actually seen as both a white person and a minority due to some court laws back in the early 20th century. So I do have a lot of issues going on there with my misidentification. Plus, I am seen as an extremist purely because of terrorist attacks that basically have given me that label.
What does racism mean to you?
Discrimination towards another person of another race, thinking that one person is more superior than the other.
What does racism mean to you?
Racism is when someone uses vulgar, demeaning names that goes against where that person is from, or also what they believe.
What does racism mean to you?
For me, racism is knowing that you have a specific power, and then you're using that power to make other people feel bad and put them in a lower category than you, making that you're a higher person than them, even though we're all really the same person.
Ever experienced any type of racism?
Not overtly racism, but I have experienced certain, what's the correct word, microaggressions, in the sense that people will assume things about the fact that I'm Asian, or assume certain things about my lifestyle because I'm Filipino, or assume things about my parents. So just tiny microaggressions that people think they understand when in fact they really don't, or just perpetuating stereotypes.
Has there ever been a situation where you've been stereotyped?
I guess not in a way that's like really hurtful or detrimental, but I've been stereotyped as like a loud Italian, or
How would you define stereotyping?
Stereotyping is discrimination based off of someone's gender or how someone identifies with themselves, if you're gay, bisexual, etc.
What would you say is the definition of stereotyping?
Stereotyping is when you look at a certain individual and you think they're a certain way because of either past experiences or what other people have told you or what media tells you.
Have you been in a situation where somebody has stereotyped you?
I'm sure. Can't think of one in particular, but I'm sure it's happened before.
And what do you think people generally stereotype you for or as?
I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure it's happened before.
Okay.